playing for England is the greatest achievement that you can have in your football career. I feel like
that is the biggest load of garbage I've ever heard anyone say.
Okay, Kevin and I are joined here by my sons, Will and Robbie Caldwell, two budding young soccer players who, Kev, it's going to be said they think they know everything about football. Well, this is their chance, Kev, because I'm tired of hearing them saying our analysis is absolutely terrible. So this is their chance to see if their opinions truly stack up. We're going to get a series.
Are they going to give a real opinion as well, or are they going to
see? They might crumble with the camera, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If Trent Alexander-Arnold chooses to run down his contract rather than accept a transfer, the decision is disrespectful to Liverpool.
No.
I think no. Yes.
Are you just saying that for the sake of saying?
No, I mean, I'm saying yes.
Why?
Because they've gave him a lot. He should be respected.
Sign a contract, then move.
Yeah, come to some sort of agreement about the number that he would move for. Because I think the development that they've gave him and the platform that Liverpool has given them as a player, they deserve some money for that. They don't deserve
how many other Trent Alexander-Arnold has come through that academy that have not had the same sort of backing when they've been asked to leave the club?
A lot, I'm sure, and a lot of good players, but none as good as him. And yes, he's served the club.
Yeah.
He's done well for the club. I understand that, but they have given him that chance to be the player that he is. So they deserve the opportunity to cash in some capacity. Now they're offering him good money here. We've got to be clear. It's not like they're offering him poor money. It's not like other scenarios where young players maybe are moving on because they're not getting what they deserve. They're offering him what he deserves. He just feels that he can maybe get more as a free. So I think it would be disrespectful.
I think it's time for him to leave Liverpool. I think he's given everything he can. I think he's going to go to Real Madrid.
On a free?
On a free.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end his career in Spain.
End his career?
No, I think like what he's given to Liverpool, he's won a Champions League, won a Premier League, successful time he's been at the club. I don't think it's disrespectful if he leaves. It's his club. I think with his contract running down, I think it's time for him to leave.
You don't think young players have got an onus to give back to their clubs?
I don't know. I think I come at it from a little bit more of a bitter angle. I grew up in Preston, as you know, and I moved from Preston. I think it was the first £1 million player to ever come out of Preston's academy, and that's not ball.
That's the development of Sam Allen.
Yeah, it was. Big Sam, David Moyes, and all these sort of guys that were around me. I was lucky the people I had around me. But I think ultimately, you have to choose what's best for you. And the reason why I say that is because there's still an amount of loyalty to the club. I think he's already been immensely loyal to the club in signing the contracts and producing what he's produced for them. And I think that in our game, you don't look back. It's about looking forward constantly. How can he improve? How can he get to the next level? And I think the loyalty he's already shown Liverpool is there for us all to see. So I don't necessarily think by signing the contract he's going to actually make that loyalty more pronounced, or however you would say it. So personally, my opinion, I think the loyalty's already been there. I think he spent a lot of time there. He's come through the academy. He's cost him nothing. And if he went to Real Madrid, and it's not going to happen, but I would like Liverpool to, wish him all the very best and let him go.
Well, I'm the odd one out here, I guess. On to the next one.
If a player scores a world-class goal but their team lost the match, should they still be celebrating their goal on their social accounts? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah.
No chance.
No. Team player?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
Why? Why do you think?
So, I'm just trying to put it in picture here. Let's say if I was playing for top team, Liverpool, United, whatever. If I scored a worldie, I think I'd be going pretty crazy. I don't think I'd blow about it, but I think I'd put just like a little PS comment on my social media saying, by the way, guys, you see my goal today, you know what I mean?
You're off social media.
I'll be like, sorry for the loss.
What about if you had a nightmare, you hardly touched the ball, but you scored that goal? Would you still do it?
Oh, nah, you gotta have a good game.
Right.
And it can't be like a full social media post. It just needs to be like a comment, bad for the loss, but happy to get the goal, what a goal.
I could see Robbie with like 5 or 6 pictures of the goal, every image of the goal.
Yeah.
Thank the fans for coming, but did you see my goal?
Yeah, no, I think that's disgraceful, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll never do that. If a player did that, I'd totally lose respect for them.
Would you have a word if you went on and progressed and you became in one of the guys' locker rooms and that happened? Would you actually pull them aside and speak to them?
Yeah, totally. I think it's disrespectful for the team, obviously, like losing the game and then you post about your personal achievements on your Instagram. I think that's totally disgraceful.
Is that not just the modern world we live in? That we have to accept it?
You see a lot of time players put like unfortunate for the result, and then they put themselves but happy at score and get like season off the mark. You see it quite a lot. So I don't think it's that bad anymore.
often is it the player that's actually posting it, or
Yeah,
is it the PR company that's behind them?
Exactly, yeah. Most of these lads don't even run the social media accounts, so you don't really know who's behind the post.
And maybe that's half the problem. You don't even know who's behind the post, and so it's someone that doesn't understand.
Still got to take some ownership. haven't you?
Yeah,
Take a little bit of ownership of your own account and what's going out there. And
Have some rules.
yes, exactly. But absolute no, that's a no in my
No.
no.
3 no's and 1 yes. Surprise, surprise.
Who would you rather have on your team in their prime, Wayne Rooney or Mohamed Salah?
Wow.
Rooney. I think it's an easy one for me. He was a teammate, Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
I'm actually really torn on this one. And I love Wayne Rooney. I played against Wayne Rooney numerous times. I think the first time I played against him was maybe his first 20 games, and he was outstanding. But what Salah has done in the Premier League consistently is remarkable for me. He is an outstanding player. I at this point, I'm going to go Rooney just for longevity, but I tell you, it's a dead heat for me.
I'm going to go Salah, I think. I agree, like, it's a close one, but I just think the consistency of the goals that Salah's produced since coming to the Premier League is just a joke, really.
Well, also Salah really failed in his first stint at Chelsea. When he first came, Rooney was good from the start to the end.
What I would say about Wayne was, or is, honestly, as a player, I don't think Mo Salah could touch him as a player.
Yeah.
I think Wayne's overall ability in terms of ability to go and beat a guy, in terms of ability to backtrack, to work, to score headed goals, to score any type of goal. Honestly, I think even now, there's still a feeling that Wayne Rooney never fulfilled his potential. And the argument is because he was so closely linked with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo did a certain thing. But if we're looking, we're going to speak about many different players, about when have they peaked and when have they not peaked. Wayne Rooney, in my opinion, when he was around 17, 18 to 22, was right up there with the very best that England's ever produced.
Is Salah's greatest strength, though, that what he does is pretty consistent, but nobody can stop it. You know, the goal that he scores, that, you know, we can all visualise coming inside and bending it in the top corner. I feel like he's done it 100 times, you know, and it's the Premier League. It's the best players in the world, and they can't stop.
And I don't know, you see the cross for Cody Gakpo the other night.
Yeah.
So it's on his right foot, and you could see what the fullback was doing again. The fullback's expecting to go on the inside. So he's left him the outside, and he just crossed it first time as the ball was coming to him. So that's elite level stuff.
Yeah.
He's thinking about that in a split second. How do you
even know earlier, Rooney? Do you watch all video, or is it through FIFA or what?
Why Rooney all day long?
Well, first off, Salah's got one prem. Salah, okay, he's a good goal scorer, he's a consistent goal scorer. Rooney on his debut scored against Arsenal when he was like our age.
Rooney, I'm not too sure that was his debut.
Not his debut. First Premier League goal.
First Premier League goal, though, yeah.
Rooney was special. Kev, what was made him so special?
I was saying before, application to training was above and beyond. Every player is now expected to bring a certain standard, and that standard is be the best you can be in day to day. Wayne tried his very best and was the very best when he was 16, 17. His ability to, as I said before, to beat players, to get himself half a yard, to cross if he went into wide areas, to go and challenge with centre-halves like yourself and go and win headers, hold up play strength, his backtracking. If you're looking at a complete footballer in the last 20 years, Rooney is that complete footballer that could do absolutely everything. He could play as a holding midfielder, he could play as a winger. Wayne could have played as a fullback.
Yeah.
He could have played as a fullback. That's why I don't think Mo Salah could do half the things that Wayne could do. If we're looking at a player for player stats, you can say whatever about your stats. Yeah. And I get that. But if I'm looking at a player, Wayne had everything, and also the application to go with it, his desire. He just wanted to train.
Yeah.
He just wanted. I don't even know if it was a desire to get better. He just wanted to train. Just literally loved being on the field training, and that was it. Pace was so underrated. How quick he was, incredibly quick.
His decision making was incredible as well. Wasn't it? He at such an early age, that was what was so remarkable about him playing against him. The fact that he played like he had 300-400 Premier League games under his belt. He chose the right option every single time he had the ball.
Clever.
Amazing talent.
Rooney, in my opinion, anyway, but there you go.
Choosing to support individual players over supporting an individual club makes sense. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
support an individual player.
So you would support an individual player, i.e. Messi, Ronaldo, or whoever, rather than support
The club.
club.
Yeah, I feel like this is more coming from my dad, really. But it's like, depending on where your loyalties lie. I mean, like, you enjoy football and you love football. You do find joy from watching certain players, and I feel like there's not a problem with supporting those players wherever they go.
Yeah, I think supporting the player, but supporting the club, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, it's fine if you're pretty neutral guy when it comes to commitment to a club, but I don't like to see these people that have got a Barca Messi top line, then it's PSG, then it's Miami.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, I'm maybe going back to myself when I was a young kid. I used to love Paul McGrath as a young kid.
Yeah.
Paul McGrath was my hero, and he left Man United and went to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So I kind of supported Aston Villa,
Right.
just because of Paul McGrath. There's only Andy Townsend and Ray Houghton that were there that were both played for Ireland as well. Maybe it works for me as well. I don't
You ever
know.
done it?
Never support a player over a club. Like,
No.
you could obviously want them to do well. Like,
Well, you've had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus. You supported like Sunderland, Newcastle, Man United.
have I? Sunderland and Newcastle.
We
the
support-
rivals.
There were
Rivals
heroes
well.
who were supporting Scotland.
to be
now
fair.
support England.
No, to be
Can't
fair,
believe
he's-
that. We'll address that.
What?
deep down, he does support one club.
Newcastle.
Yeah,
Newcastle.
that's his
What are you
club.
talking about?
Okay,
like-
I can remember him having Arsenal strips, Man United strips.
When I was 7,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you're a little kid.
when I was 7, because I got them from my brother.
Felt like you
Pictures of you and
supported
Rangers stuff.
This picture of you and Rangers stuff. Come on.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Who's that? There is.
What about when you supported for England last Euros? Or no, the World Cup when they won the penalty shootout
You've
against
got to stop
Colombia?
listening to this guy. You got to stop listening to this
Cup
guy.
against Colombia.
I support football, buddy. You got to stop listening to this guy. Influence.
Best team wins and all that, yeah, but as long as England win.
Due to the financial and competitive advantages, it makes sense for Premier League players from Scotland and Ireland to consider playing for England. Yes or no?
I think playing for England is the greatest achievement that you can have in your football career. I feel like if you're
Like Brazil.
England, only England.
Absolute. That's. I would use something stronger, to be honest with you. There, that is the biggest load of garbage I've ever heard anyone say, to be honest with you. Now, this is a generation gap. This is a generation gap and a half. So, playing for England, it comes down to, and it's something I've always said about real English elitism, that we've given you the game. You should be pleased that I've given you that game, that I'm allowing you to play it. I think there's a real feeling of that within English media, within English supporters. Absolutely not.
No, okay. Maybe I'll tell you this, Dad. Playing for England, you like.
But it means nothing to somebody. Exactly, yeah. There's no way that anybody, and I get it, like, I think with you guys moving to Canada, having an English mum and a Scottish dad born in England, you got a little bit of different allegiance. I understand that. I've got to learn that. But me, growing up in Scotland, there's no way, even if I had the opportunity to play for Germany or Brazil or whoever can.
Well, you can.
I would never have contemplated it.
We see it now, don't
Never.
we? So many players, you spend a certain amount of time in the country, you can be nationalised, can't you?
Yeah.
You've not played. So potentially you could have done that. You could have gone to Newcastle at 16 when you went.
Yeah.
Stayed till you were 21, 22, and then you could be considered for England, couldn't you?
I never, never even entered my head, you know.
No, but it's also a hard thing to debate on because, like, you feel so Scottish,
Yeah.
you feel so Irish, and we feel so English.
Yeah, but that's why. No, but that's why with what you're saying is kind of dismissing the rest of the people's feelings for their wanting to play for them. If you're English, that would be the ultimate dream for you. If you to play for England, wouldn't it? Whereas, and you guys know, I was born in England, but I could never have even contemplated it. Never even contemplated it at all, ever.
Do you think people contemplate it because obviously they're going to earn more money for an England player rather than an Irish or a Welsh?
I see, that's the point about the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was that it,
Like,
you know, commercially for yourself.
Even just reputation around the world, if you're an English international, you get a higher transfer value, don't you? And
If you had split loyalties, which is something that you're probably talking about, the split loyalties, and you felt my mum and dad are Irish or Scottish, I would take pride for them.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't feel the allegiance.
But do you not think a lot of young guys nowadays think, like, I'll use Rice for an example, chose Ireland at the start, and then he started to see, like, okay, like, no, I'm serious. He chose Ireland at the start, and then he started to see, like, okay, obviously. But also, like, I'm becoming a good young player. Like, I'm playing for West Ham. Like, I'll probably have a good opportunity of playing for England. And by the way, he did, and he's made the right decision because he's played a lot of games for them, and he's played in big games for them.
Well, when he played for us, he was selected, and this is why I think nobody should ever go and play for an international team when you're thinking about something else.
Yeah.
You can't do. It's not possible in my mind. I think back to when I was you guys' age, 10, 11, 12. If it was presented to me and you said to me, you've got one chance to play for Ireland, are you going to take it or not? It wouldn't have even been a question in my mind.
Yeah.
It would have been, where do you want me? I'll get on the plane, I'll get on the boat right now and go there. Whereas Declan was a bit different because he kind of still had one eye in England because he knew by only playing friendlies that he would have had the opportunity to, or potentially still keep himself open to playing for England.
Yeah.
So that to me is too contrived.
That's a burning question I'd like to ask him though, Kev. Why did he play for Ireland?
Yeah,
In the first place, not why did he swap? Why did he initially play for Ireland?
He played at 21s, didn't he? So he played it on the 21 level.
Yeah.
And obviously the natural progression from 21, like Jack Grealish did the same. So the natural progression is to get into the senior side.
Do you not think like people making these decisions to change nationalities has evolved over the game? Because when you guys were kids, you wouldn't even think about it. You just played pride for your country.
Yeah.
But nowadays, young guys, pride for your country, but they're also thinking about themselves.
And they also want to play at major tournaments and they're hitting their best.
Honestly, in my opinion on it, a player doesn't get rich playing international football. It can never be that way. You can never even consider how financially better off I'm going to be by playing for a certain country. It's got to be what's in you, what's in your gut, what's in your heart. When your heart rules your head, usually you make the wrong decision. But in this instance, I feel as though it'll always have to rule the head. It'll have to always be who you are as a person. Can you look yourself in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth at night or whatever? And it would always come down to that, in my opinion.
It's a question we get asked a lot, especially being in Canada. It's like we've essentially sometimes got three options: Canada, England. I feel like it's.
What would you do if you had a choice?
Like, I feel like one of the proudest moments for me would be to play for England, just because I feel more English than the other two. To be honest, I feel like that's fair of me to say, but I also think that I'm in a totally different circumstance to what you two are in. Well, you didn't really have an option for another nationality, but you grew up in England, and it was through your family, and you got to live that and you got to feel it. Whereas we just say we're English and we live in Canada. We don't really know what the sort of troubles and the kind of backlash comes from that.
So where do you rank your countries in priority then? Number one, England. Who's number two? Canada or Scotland?
I feel like it's like some days I'm proud to be English. I feel proud watching England, and then some days I watch Scotland and I'll be like, I feel proud to watch Scotland. When Canada's doing well at the Copa America, it's like, I live in Canada. I feel proud to live in Canada.
Your first memories of football is watching your country. I mean,
it always comes back to.
Like 2018 World Cup. I know 2016 Euros. I also watched that, bad time. But 2018 World Cup, England make the semi-finals is like my favourite football moment ever. Like beating Colombia in penalty shootout. We were watching as kids. Like, I don't think anything will be that.
He's actually brought up a good point. I feel like the memories sort of play into a huge factor of it. Like when Kieran Trippier scored that free kick. When they beat Denmark in the semi-final of the Euros in 2021. I feel like that's the stuff that is like, when you want to live that. And even like watching Scotland play at the odds World Cup every 25 years. And then watching Ireland,
No, it's a great point. Well, we're never there. We're never there. Just don't now. But it is a great point. Probably my overriding memories of Euro 88 and Italia 90. 94 to an extent, but definitely those two. Our first World Cup, I was 13. It's a lasting memory on me for what happened in penalty shootouts, getting to a quarter-final, things like that. Euro beating in the Euros 88, beating England. That's the sort of memories that probably drove me to want to succeed and be an Irish player. It is, definitely.
Well done, lads.